strategic about our pricing. The other thing is you almost never have to wait to get checked out. And on top of that, we don't make you be the cashier either. We try to make sure in order to grow, you have to have labor. So we make sure we have enough people to do the job, and in order to absorb the growth that we've experienced for 24 years straight.
Dave and his staff help you save up to 40% on your food bill every day at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. And as Dave always says,
Hope to see you soon.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Paul Scourin, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton, here to remind you that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Warner Hospital has the same state-of-the-art 3D mammography technology as the larger hospitals, but also offers it in a compassionate, caring way close to home in Clinton. 3D offers more precise imaging for early detection of cancer and a significant reduction in radiation exposure. Book your preventative 3D mammo appointment at Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton by calling 217-935-9571.
Are you wanting to learn more about your health and wellness options in Central Illinois? Visit stealthwellness.com or click on my banner ad at DeWittDailyNews.com. Let me, Dr. Bill Byers, show you some simple, under-the-radar ways to improve and take control of your health.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
You were right.
You were right.
You were right.
Well, you were right. When you choose your seed brand, there's winning, and then there's...
You were right. Should have gone with Brevant seeds.
When you choose Brevant seeds, you don't just win, you get to be right. Don't just win. Talk with your retailer or visit Brevant.com/win to get started.
Thank you for listening to this Miller Media Group radio station. We appreciate you making the choice to tune in to us. We want to remind you of some things to keep the attorneys happy. Our stations allow one winner per household in a 30-day period. Cash prizes are mailed to our winners within 30 days of winning. And, as you've probably already guessed, portions of today's programming on this Miller Media Group radio station were pre-recorded and are mechanically or digitally reproduced. There. Now we've made the attorneys happy. Thanks again for listening to this Miller Media Group station.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Ashlyn Burrus with DeWitt County Dove. Good morning, Ashlyn.
Good morning.
Good to see you today. Thanks for making time for us. And October, of course, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And for Dove, probably one of the bigger events you do is your candlelight vigil at the end of every October. That's right around the corner. Let's start there today.
Yes, so that is going to be on this coming up Monday, October 28th at 6 p.m. It is the church that used to be called Assembly of God, but now they changed their name to Journey Church. So if you see that Assembly of God sign, know that that's where you should be. It's going to be at Journey Church at 6 p.m. this coming up Monday. And the address is 801 South Mulberry Street in Clinton. Like Seth said, this is going to be a candlelight ceremony for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which October is that month.
Sure. Well, what does this look like? What does this event look like? Tell us, kind of walk through what happens.
So there will be some guest speakers. There will be some candles lit to honor, recognize, and raise awareness for maybe anyone that's ever suffered and died due to domestic violence. Also survivors of domestic violence, maybe people that have gotten away from that domestic violence situation and now they're free. Or another candle that will be lit, or different candles, will be honoring and remembering people that have ever been a advocate or supported someone through domestic violence, or been a huge support of Dove here in DeWitt County.
Sure. When it comes to individuals that have passed away from domestic violence, are there cases of that in DeWitt County?
We had one right before that I know of, right before the candlelight last year, but I haven't heard of any in DeWitt County since the last candlelight.
Wow. That's soon.
That's what I know, but just need to double check that. But the last DV death in DeWitt County was right before the last candlelight last year.
Man, that's hard to hear. When it comes to your speakers, I know you've got a really good lineup this year. Tell us about some of these people.
So one speaker will be the medical legal advocate at Growing Strong, which is a sexual assault center. Their main location is out of Decatur, but they also serve the same counties that Dove does too. So Growing Strong has a room that they rent out at the Dove office here in Clinton, and they serve Shelby, Moultrie, Piatt, and Macon counties and DeWitt. And the medical legal advocate, Tori Tatum, she's going to be speaking some there, and the Clinton Detective Morris, is going to speak. And then someone that has went through domestic violence herself and has now a survivor and is also an advocate is going to share some of her story too. I also will be speaking some too about what domestic violence is, how we can be a support to others, and ways to get involved. And then we'll have some singing, and another thing too, we'll have refreshments after.
Got to draw people in for sure. Now, will these speakers, will they be testimonials? Will it be informative? Little of both? What do you hope to hear?
It will be a little of both. There will be like informative, like knowing the facts, and then there will be also some like learning about different resources, ways you can get help, but also ways to help others. And then there will be, like I said, like story testimony of like how someone has gotten through it themselves and saw those warning signs. So.
Have you been able to help individuals through that process you hope to see at this event? And you don't have to name names, obviously, but I mean, there's, speak to, I guess, who you hope comes out for this event on Monday.
Right. So I hope anyone will come out to this event because, like, we all probably know someone that's went through domestic violence, or we might have went through it ourselves in the past, or maybe right now we are. And so I would like anyone at all to come out, because let's raise awareness, but also let's be more educated and also know how to support people that are going through it. And maybe it was 20 years ago that you went through something, but now, like, we can get that help. Like, I even help people that maybe have went through DV 5-10 years ago, and now they need someone to talk to. And then another thing too is, like, maybe like you just got out of a situation and now you need someone to talk to. Come to the event, get my business card, or talk to me after the event. Like, I'm here, and like, you're not alone.
Well, I think we could take the opportunity to, if folks maybe they can't come out Monday, but they are interested in Dove services, remind us what Dove does. How do you help people?
Yeah, so Dove helps in several different ways, but specifically in the domestic violence program, which I am over that program here in DeWitt County. I provide services for children and adults, men and women. And I provide DV counseling, legal advocacy. I help with order protections. I will help with going and providing emotional support at criminal hearings, helping people that are in crisis that need resources. We also have a 24-hour hotline here in Clinton for DeWitt County. And if I'm not at the office, someone in Decatur should be picking up that hotline. And that hotline number, the 24-hour hotline in DeWitt County, is 217 877-935-6702. You can call that number at any time for any questions or if you need immediate help.
Sure. You talked about, Ashlyn, someone maybe going through a domestic violence situation themselves. One thing I've come to learn about this is that a lot of times an individual may not realize that they are in the midst of a domestic violence situation. What does this look like? What should we be looking out for? Whether it's friends, family, a person who suspects maybe their relationship is of a domestic nature. How about that?
Well, you might not see it at first because in a lot of DV situations, especially like if it's a romantic relationship, at first the abuser could be all loving and give you a lot of gifts or be so sweet, but eventually maybe it's like they keep you away from your friends, or maybe they don't let you get a job, and maybe they critique your every single move or call you names all the time. Like, those are warning signs, because a relationship that is healthy, they should be letting you see your friends. They should be letting you see your family. You should be able to work if you want. And you
have access to your own money.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to, like, not walk around, like, feeling that something could happen to you, or not feeling like you're happy. And you should be able to have a voice too.
Sure. Again, our guest in studio this morning is Ashlyn Burrus with DeWitt County Dove. Of course, their candlelight vigil, Ashlyn, comes up October 28th. Again, the when or the time and where on that?
Yes, that's Monday, October 28th. This coming up Monday at 6 p.m. at Journey Church, which used to be the Assembly of God Church, here right in Clinton at 801 South Mulberry Street. And anyone is welcome.
Sure. So when it comes to domestic violence, you mentioned maybe someone is in the midst of a situation they're not positive if it's of a violent nature, and violence doesn't have to be physical. We should probably touch on that for a minute. There is this relationship doesn't have to be a physical abuse. There's other forms of abuse in this umbrella. Speak to that a little bit, Ashlyn.
Well, like, we most of the time think of domestic violence being physical. Domestic violence is much more than just physical abuse. So, like, victims can be abused in a variety of ways, resulting in long-term damage to his or her identity. So some of those things that also are abuse is emotional abuse, teasing, insulting, criticizing, name-calling, put-downs, playing mind games, manipulation, or ignoring feelings, making you feel guilty, belittling. Another thing, too, is isolation. Like I said, isolating you from friends and family. Minimizing, denying, blaming. And then sometimes, too, it's using children. Making you feel guilty about children, too.
So if someone wants to speak to you about this, are they open? Like, is that something you can help them, walk through? Is recognizing where they're at in their relationship?
Right. Yes. So even if you don't want to call, like, our 24-hour hotline, like, I am here. Like, I may be the only person that someone can talk to. Like, not everyone has family and friends, and I get that. Like, or I may be the first person someone may share their story to, and I'm going to listen. And I will believe you. And my office number is 217-635 or 217-935-6619. And if I don't pick up, leave me a voicemail, and I will get back with you.
Yeah. Is that something that victims find a lot of times, is maybe they come forward to a friend or a family and they're dismissive about it? It's like, oh, that's not really happening to you.
Oh, yes. That happens quite a bit, because maybe the family or friends aren't seeing maybe an abuser, man or woman, the way that the victim is being treated in their own home. So someone could act totally different out in public, and they're not seeing how they really are in their own home, because people act different at home than out in public.
Yeah, and that's why it's so hard to recognize, I venture a guess. Sure. You threw out that phone number to get a hold of you there at the Dove office in DeWitt County. Throw it out there one more time, and maybe online resources, website, social media, throw out those for us.
Yes, for sure. So the DeWitt County office phone number where you can reach me is 217-935-6619. And then I'll say this again, the DeWitt County hotline number, 24-hour hotline number, you can call at any time if you have a question, if you need somewhere safe to go, if you need any help at all, or know someone else that may need that help immediately. It's 217-935-6072. And if you've never been to the Dove DeWitt County office, that's at 803 West Leander in Clinton. And it's right behind the bomb dealership. Some people, they have a hard time finding it. That's why I'm kind of just stating where it's at. And then my email is Burrus, Burrus, at doveinc.org. And you can email me any question you might have, or if you need to, if you don't have time to call, or if you're in crisis, just email me.
Very good. Ashlyn Burrus, DeWitt County Dove, our guest in studio this morning. We'll talk more with her coming up on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn, beans, and wheat all starting the day slightly lower. December corn opening 4.15 and a half. That's down a penny. March corn down 3/4, 4.28 and a half. May corn 4.36 down 3/4. November beans starting the day 9.89 and a quarter, down 2.5. January beans down 2 3/4, 9.97 3/4. March beans 10.11 down 1.5. December Chicago wheat 5.70 and a half down 5.5. March wheat down 6, 5.90 and a quarter. May wheat $6 1/2. That's down 6. December bean meal 3.1640 down $1.30. December bean oil 43.86 up 17 cents. Looking at the opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers a full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton or Farmer City. This is what we strive to do each and every day. We'll listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that is knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com, right from the start.
Paul Scarron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, our state-of-the-art 3D mammo machine can help detect early cancer. Find out details by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Ramey Miller from Run Deep Coaching. Take your power back. I do holistic personal and business coaching. My service is virtual, so we can visit no matter where you are. Find out more by clicking my icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Ashlyn Burrus, DeWitt County Dove, in studio with us today. Ashlyn, let's talk a little bit about whether it's a person in a relationship, someone maybe watching from afar, signs to be on the lookout for if they suspect that someone is in an abusive relationship.
Well, some possible signs that someone's being abused. Well, if you see, the physical stuff, like we said, that is a big thing. If you see, someone having bruises all the time, well, that could not be from maybe abuse, but maybe you know that someone in their couple have had things happen in the past, or maybe that their spouse or partner was violent to someone else in the past, and then you see this person like having bruises all over them, that might be a warning sign or like a possible sign. Maybe the person talks about like his or her partner's like jealousy and the bad temper or possessiveness. One other thing too is if that person's like always really, really depressed and has lost confidence or is unusually quiet.
Yeah, I was going to say change in personality is one I've heard a lot.
Because like when someone's going through like abuse of any sort, like they could be very, very quiet and be scared to say anything at all. Or just maybe that person like seems afraid of his or her partner or is always anxious to please him or her too. And then another thing too is maybe they're missing work a lot. I mean, we might know like if the person's sick, but what if it's someone that you know like they're not sick at all, and you know like of maybe other things too, and this person just keeps missing work and you can't get a hold of them. Or maybe it's someone that used to hang out with their friends all the time, go to their family events, and boom, like they can't do any of that at all. That's like what's going on? Like we need to have in the back of our head, like we never know what could be happening in someone's own home. And like when we see even the littlest things, like just like maybe think to yourself, is this normal or not?
Yeah,
is this healthy?
Yeah. I want to touch on something we were talking about before we got started this morning was the various types of abuse, you know, physical, emotional, financial. They all almost kind of circle around and tie into emotional abuse because all of those things are, you know, have emotions tied to them. Speak to that a little bit.
So the people who experience emotional abuse often end up experiencing physical abuse too, but like usually an abuser will start a relationship as loving, full of intimacy to gain that bond with their partner and ultimately gain control of them. Then that emotional and psychological abuse starts making the partner feel isolated, worthless, and like they deserve the abuse. But some other things, I don't know if I said earlier, but some other things with that emotional abuse is like withholding affection, ignoring feelings. Like I might have said that before, but that's a big thing. Threats. Like that's a big thing. Even I'm going off a little bit, but that's a big thing I've been seeing lately with the abuse, a trend. Like there's been so much threat stuff lately.
Like what? I mean, I don't know if that gives away
like
too much.
If you do this, I will commit suicide. Or if you do this, I'll take the kids. Or if you do this, I'll call your boss. Or if you do this, I'll call your mom and said you do this. Or maybe it's threatening to cut off resources, or threatening to leave, or carrying out threats of violence and harm. Maybe showing a gun, or maybe it's threatening to take their phone away.
Yeah, for sure. Again, you know, kind of grabbing at their emotions to manipulate, for sure. When it comes to other trends you're noticing locally, Ashlyn, anything else to speak on?
I would say there's been a lot of the sexual and economic financial abuse lately, too. Lots of elder abuse too. Yeah,
the sexual piece is interesting because a lot of folks would say, well, you know, they're in a relationship. How is there sexual abuse in a relationship? How about that piece of it?
The sexual abuse in a relationship.
Yeah.
Abuse is all about power and control. So, abuser wants that control and power, and so they're gonna get it somehow. And another thing, too, is, like, they want that person to go I wouldn't say abusers normally want the individual that's going through the abuse to make it really, really hard on them. But the sexual abuse is with a lot of that physical and emotional abuse too. Like it all intertwines.
Yeah, sure. I am quickly running out of time here, Ashlyn. One more time in the next 20, 30 seconds. When, where on your candlelight vigil?
The Dove of DeWitt County Domestic Violence Program candlelight ceremony is this coming up Monday, October 28th at 6 p.m. at Journey Church, which is 801 South Mulberry Street. All are welcome, and please come if you can.
Very good, Ashlyn. Always good to talk with you. Thanks for making time for us. Ashlyn Burrus, DeWitt County Dove, our guest. Network News on the way.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM,